You're tuned to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is a program called Alive with Bhavna. It's our pleasure, as always, to have in the hot seat Bhavna. How you going, Bhavna?
Good, thanks, Ken.
Just come back from your big, long holiday overseas. Was
My
it
short holiday, 2 weeks overseas, but it was lovely. Absolutely.
Seems like forever since we've seen you.
It does feel like that far.
Anyway, today, Bhavna, you're here to talk all about mindfulness. Before we get into today's topic, just remind our listeners what mindfulness is all about.
So mindfulness is about learning how to be in your body in this moment, to experience this moment as fully as you can, using your five senses. So for me, it's the simple way of explaining it is, can you connect to your five senses in this moment?
Anyone listening to this would think, of course we can, but it's not quite that easy.
Yeah, because we interpret it. Once we connect to our five senses, we go, oh, it's too hot, I don't like it. It's just, mindfulness is purely about accepting and going, oh, cool, I can feel this. I can feel my bum as I'm sitting on the seat.
Yes.
I can feel this. It's opening ourselves up to our experiences.
Is mindfulness and meditation one and the same thing, or is it different altogether?
Can be one and the same thing. Yeah.
And it's easy to practice, isn't it?
It is a practice, but it can also just be a lifestyle. So some mindfulness, the traditional mindfulness, is a practice where you sit for half an hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want, focusing on your breath or focusing on whatever it is. But then they have the other stuff which they call the informal mindfulness practice, which is just throughout the day, where you're noticing your body and connecting with senses. So those are smaller moments. So the purists would not regard the informal as mindfulness or meditation, whereas I regard it all as the same thing. Any moment that I'm aware is mindfulness.
I was going to say, you're probably a professional mindfulness person. Do you think about it, or does it just come naturally to you?
Again, a bit of both. It's, if I'm very distracted or there's a lot on, I have to remind myself to connect. But at other times, I can just connect and it comes much easier. But even when I do have to remind myself, it's less effortful than it was when I started mindfulness, where I really had to, oh, wait, let me just, like, for example, being in the shower. For me, it's almost normal to be in the shower and feel the water, feel myself, wash myself. Whereas in the start, I had to actually make a concerted effort to go, hey, come on, you're in the shower. Notice the water, you're in the shower.
Good point that you make there, because most of us just get in the shower, we have a wash, we get out, we dry our hair, we get ready and we go.
Yeah.
Being mindful is actually enjoying the water.
Enjoying the whole shower experience, because the only time we normally experience or enjoy our shower is after we've gone camping for a week. And we come home and we go, oh my God, I love the shower. We're having this amazing experience every single day, if only we showed up.
It's actually one of life's pleasures, a shower or a bath. Not that I haven't had a bath for about 40 years. More.
Ooh, it's smelling.
Yeah, I know. Should we take more baths though? Because, I mean, at least with a bath, you can sort of lie there for half an hour and think, oh, this is absolutely wonderful. Whereas a shower, you tend to be in and out.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, a lot of people, when they bath, they're still reading, or they, I don't know, got the music on, or they're not in the bath. There's a difference between physically being in a place and actually being, in terms of mindfulness, being in the place.
So relaxing and mindfulness are in fact two completely different things.
Relaxing can be a side effect of mindfulness. When I'm present, when I'm connected to mindfulness, I feel relaxed, but it's not the aim of mindfulness.
I would have thought it would be.
No, but mindfulness is if we reduce it to relaxing, it's, I don't know, it's kind of like saying breathing is just about oxygen. It keeps my whole body alive. It's not just about air going in and out. That's kind of quite, it is that, but it's so much more. It keeps every cell in my body alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for explaining that for us, as always. Now, today's topic is going to be devotion or commitment. One and the same?
In this context, yes. So I thought about this kind of while I was on holiday in South Africa, and it was the idea of just looking around at people and going, or thinking about my life as well, and going, what am I devoting my life to? And most of us would go, oh, actually, I'm committing my life to this or that. But for me, it's when we scratch the surface, it's like, well, where's most of your energy going? So if you think of yourself, what would you say occupies the most amount of mental energy?
For most people, I would guess it would be working, because there's a good quote, isn't it? Do you live to work, or do you work to live?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, yeah, I've been contemplating that as well. And work, unfortunately, takes up more of my space than mindfulness, which I was a bit disconcerted by, and going, ooh, okay, I need to learn how to refocus, and just that idea of coming back into my body. And when I mean work, I'm not just talking about the time of your day, because obviously in terms of physically, we do spend 8 hours or 40 hours a week at work. So it does take up big chunks, hopefully.
I would suggest, though, that a person in because you own your own business, might suggest that you spend a lot more than 40 hours a week either being at work or thinking about your work.
Yeah, and that's the other point. It's how much energy we spend on thinking about the work or thinking about whatever it is. I remember I did a workshop when I started Alive many years ago, 6 years ago or something. When I started it, I did a workshop at some business, and we were talking about mindfulness, and just asked the person, look, just to focus on their breathing or relax or something like that. I can't remember. And this woman got really agitated and said, look, I have to focus on the finances all the time. I was like, yeah, but what happens if you don't focus on the finances just for 1 minute? I have to. And she got really irate, and she was shouting at me, I have to focus on the finances. And even though bodily she was at work for 40 hours a week, energetically or in her mind, her devotion is to worry about the finances. She can't let go of that. It's the same thing as when we fall in love. We devoted or committed to that person, and it's the first thought in the morning, it's the last thought at night. We think about them the whole day. We hear songs and we think about, and that's what I'm talking about in terms of devotion, is where's your energy going?
I wonder, though, that what you just described there about falling in love, thinking about someone 24 hours a day, that's not really love, though, is it? That's lust in a way.
Yeah.
So at the very beginning of a relationship, just about everyone is like that. Is that love, or is that lusting after a person? And then once you learn how to love them, and for instance, I don't know, let's say you go the whole hog and you get married, that sort of stuff always cools off, doesn't it? So is it lust or is it love?
Don't know, but it's that, I'm talking about that energy of that commitment in that, during that period, lust or love, whatever you want to call it. They're completely committed to that person. Energetically, that occupies the biggest space in their mind. And it's what's occupying the biggest space in your mind at this moment. And unfortunately, for many of us, it's worry. Worry is our obsession. It's our commitment. It's our thing that we all do. Oh, worry about this and I worry about that. And
why doesn't that euphoria of falling in love last?
No idea.
Well, you must have had it yourself at some stage in your life.
Yeah.
Why didn't it last, do you think? You're a psychologist,
I
Bhavna.
don't know.
You must have some idea.
Ooh, psychologists, I know it all. Well, don't know. I mean, I guess it's just part of, like you said, once you go the whole hog and you actually start committing to the person, the honeymoon period falls away.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't mean you love them less. It just means this is now normal. So it's part of your life.
Yeah. Do most of the people that you come across, do they live to work or work to live?
Most of the people that come into my life, unfortunately, live to worry.
To worry.
I mean, most clients that come, they tell me, they just go, I just overthink things. I'm a really big overthinker, or I just worry about everything. I can worry about anything. I'm a super worrier. The whole family just worries about things. For me, that's our obsession, is worrying.
It's easy to worry, though, isn't it?
Of course. There's ample things to worry about if you want to.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose, though, let's have a look at not politics as such at the moment, but you look at, say, the price of petrol. Yeah. As we record this program, currently in Christchurch, petrol is $2.50 a litre.
Wow.
and in some places like Auckland it's 230, around in Hawke's Bay it's averaging about 225. That in itself isn't a worry.
Yeah.
But when you think, okay, well, you go to the shop, as a result of petrol going up, everything is much more expensive. And if you're on a limited income, all of a sudden it's a bit of a worry.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to sacrifice to put, say, food on the table?
Yeah.
Or to get to work, or to enjoy your life?
Yeah.
Easy to worry.
Very easy to worry. Easy to worry about weather, greenhouse effect, hole in ozone, whatever, anything.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
If we want to look for something to worry about, there's ample. But worrying is such a useless emotion.
I know,
because
so
what we
easy
do with worrying is, I just go round and round in a circle going, oh my God, petrol's expensive. Oh my God, how am I going to survive? I'm just stuck on that, oh my God. It's not, hey, if I cut off this, then I'll have enough money. Worrying is a dead energy and just goes around like, oh my God, the thing's going up expensive. And I go back and I don't, it's not a productive thing where I actually look at my life and going, okay, I need to make some changes. What can I change?
I hear what you're saying there, but you almost make it sound a little bit too easy. That, for instance, if I'm struggling at the lower end of the socio-economic scale, and I'm not saying you flippantly said, oh, well, let's cut this out. Some people have got nothing to cut out, so they're still going to worry about it. In fact, they're going to worry more about it.
Yeah.
So how do they get around that?
Don't know.
No.
Worrying isn't the solution, is all I'm saying, is because worrying doesn't help us come up with answers.
Solutions,
As soon as my mind goes, oh my God, it goes into a stuck mentality, whereas the minute I go, what can I do? I'm eliciting a different part of my brain that wakes up and go, oh, wait, I need to find a solution, or I need to think of something. Whereas if I'm worrying, I just spiral downwards.
Yeah. And like you say in your notes here, life is complicated. And it does sound easy when you say, and when you read books, and I'm reading a motivational book at home at the moment, and I think to myself, this is so easy. You're reading it and you think, why can't I do that? But reading it or listening to it is much different to putting it into practice.
And that's, I guess, what I'm talking about today in terms of our dedication and commitment, is if my commitment or my dedication in life is to worry, I come in with some solutions or something else. It looks attractive, but this is my commitment. This is where my energy is going. And it's the only answer I have to this is we are stupid animals in that sense, and I will not give up my worrying. I will fight to keep it, even though if someone comes with solutions. I remember when I worked in my previous workplace, I spoke to someone and I went, honestly, in this moment, I don't have anything to worry about. I didn't mean life was brilliant. I just meant, as I'm sitting here talking to you in this moment, I don't have a worry because I'm breathing okay, body's okay, temperature's okay, I'm okay in this moment. And she looked at me, and my colleague looked at me and turned around and went, if I didn't have something to worry about, I'd make it up.
Yes.
And that's why change is so hard. We're so committed to worrying that these things are lovely. They're attractive. But it comes at a cost of me giving this up, and I'm going, actually, I don't want to give it up.
I suppose interesting point that you raised there as well, that living in the moment where you have no worries, is that sort of a false sense of security for you, because the moment is only going to last a moment. When you snap out of having your cup of coffee talking to me, all of a sudden you walk out this door and the reality then hits you again, doesn't it? You think, okay, well,
no, but that's
when
another
does the next
moment
moment come along?
That's a moment. Every moment, moments are not little tiny bubbles that come up. My whole life is made up of moments.
Why do we worry?
My only answer is we're stupid animals.
I mean, if it's as simple as what you say, that let's live for the moment, and in this moment we have nothing to worry about, why do we worry?
I think for some people we learn how to worry.
I mean, you worry.
Yeah.
And you're an exponent of mindfulness.
Yeah.
So people are going to say, well, okay, let's, walk the walk.
Yeah. I worry, but I also worry a lot less than, that's not my biggest obsession. That's kind of number maybe 2 or 3 or 4, somewhere down there. Whereas before mindfulness, like most people, it was number one. It drove my energy, it drove me. Whereas now I'm learning how to actually have more moments, whether it's the coffee or walking to my car or driving here, or every single thing is a moment. And the more I connect with that, the less energy I'm spending in my worrying mind.
Is it easy to say don't worry about things you can't change?
Easy to say, hard to do.
Absolutely.
But again, the more I've done mindfulness, the more as I did mindfulness, I kind of realized, one day it just hit me. I went, hey, I'm actually living the serenity prayer. It's not something external to me. I'm actually living it through mindfulness. And the serenity prayer, it's just the first 3 lines of, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And as I started doing mindfulness, I was able to let go of things that I couldn't control and go, oh, okay. And like I said, one day it just smacked me in my face and I went, oh my God, I've been living the serenity prayer. Cool.
That does come with age, though, doesn't it? Because I find now that, at nearly 65 years old, and I find that I don't really worry so much I don't worry about people too much anymore. If I don't like people, I don't hang around them.
Yeah.
I don't mind having my say.
Yeah.
So if you ignore me, I don't mind saying, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Whereas if I wind the clock back 20 years, I might not have had my say.
Yeah.
And would that be fair comment that as you get older, you become more at peace with yourself, I suppose, for want of a better word, and you think, well, do I really care about that person?
For some people. I remember when I volunteered at hospice, they said something similar to this idea of people approach death or die the way they've lived. And if you're one of those clients who come and see me and go, look, I'm a professional worrier and worrying is in our genes and this is what we do, doesn't matter whether you hit 65 or 85 or 95, this is who you are and you're going to keep doing it.
Sure.
I think for what you're saying is that kind of idea of emotional maturity where you start becoming more aware of other things or other ways of approaching things rather than just the one way, which is worrying. Yeah,
and I suppose I would guess mostly from the age of 30 to say the age of 55, that's the biggest group of worriers, because they're getting their first mortgage, maybe they're getting their house, they're starting their family, their kids have yet to grow up, they've got to go through all those things that those kids are going to put them through. Would that be the biggest?
No idea. If you talk to teenagers, they're the most stressed people in the world because they got the whole fitting in and the hormones, and I think each age thinks it's we got the hardest part.
What about us old fellas though? We don't seem to worry. I mean, not that you're as old as me, but are you getting to that stage of life now where you sort of think, well, I'm not that worried about it anymore?
For me, I know mindfulness has been a big part in me learning how to go with the flow of life. So part of when I came back to New Zealand last week was the plane was really, really delayed and we had to stay in Sydney and this and that. And for me, it was almost just like, okay, where do I have to go? Just point me in the direction and I'll do that. And whereas there were other people in the plane that were really stressed about this idea of like, I don't know where to go and I don't know what to do and what about this? And it's like, I don't know, just there's nothing you can do about it. So just enjoy the layover in Sydney. And
I suppose though you were in other people's hands there, you could do absolutely nothing about that.
Yeah. So, but it didn't stop a lot of people from worrying about and stressing about it.
And I probably wouldn't worry too much about it either, because I would think to myself, oh, well, they're going to put me up for the night.
Yeah.
They're probably going to feed me.
And so what, I miss my next flight and I miss this and I'll sort it out when I get home.
So, but I guess we would blame them for that happening to us. But like I said, it wouldn't worry me too much. But it's different if you're in control of the things that make you worry.
Generally, we're not in control of the things that make us worry. That's why we worry. If we were in control of it, or if we are in control of stuff, we actually do stuff. So parents would tell me they worry about their kids overseas or something like that, because I don't know what they're doing there. Yeah. I don't know if they're okay. I don't know. When the kids are at home, it's like, oh no, I can relax because I can see what's happening.
But that's in their hands, isn't it? You're worrying about something that's in their hands. Whereas if I overcommit myself on my mortgage and I spend too much on my car,
Yeah.
I'm going to worry about that because I could have controlled that. Whereas, you know, your kids say,
Yeah.
look, I'm going overseas, Dad. I can't control that.
Yeah.
So why are there two different types of worrying then? When you're saying we're going to worry about our kids overseas, we couldn't control that in the first place. Obviously, you're going to worry about
Yeah.
are they safe?
Yeah.
But it's out of our control, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's where that serenity prayer comes in, is the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. So if you're taking your example of spending or whatever, it's, hey, that one I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. But very often we spend time and energy worrying about stuff I can't control.
Just about out of time, Bhavna. Just recap for us briefly, if you wouldn't mind, about devotion or commitment, about worrying, overthinking.
So just to recap or just to summarize this, I think part of this conversation today is about hopefully that the listeners become aware of what is their devotion, what is the energy that's driving them. Is it worrying? Is it presence in terms of the mindfulness stuff? Is it love? It's what we looking at what we think we committed to, I'd say family or whatever, and going, okay, how much energy do I give towards that I think I'm committed to, as opposed to other stuff.
Well said. Now you've got a couple of retreats coming up. Tell us about those.
Yes, I have a retreat on the 10th and 11th of November here in Hawke's Bay at Havelock North. So there's still places available for it. It's 2 days non-residential at the Taruna College in Havelock North.
What will we learn there?
All of this that we spoke about.
I'm going to finish on a good song for you. You were thinking beforehand, what can we fit in? But I've got a great song. It's called Don't Worry, Baby.
Good song.
Here it is.
Cheers.